Oh. If you'd rather get like a copy of the questions on a piece of paper and fill out and like think about the answers and write them down and send them back, would you rather do that?
Do both,
We could do
Yeah,
both.
let's do both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
We can wait.
If there's anything you can't give a direct response to right here.
It takes longer than 1 minute too, by the way.
Not to read it, but to do it.
False advertising.
Yeah, we're like,
Yeah.
ah.
Didn't change it to
Busted.
3.7 minutes. They're pretty straightforward questions. But the first one is, what's your age,
19.
date of birth,
4/11/77.
full legal name?
Charles. Jason Baldwin.
Zodiac sign.
Favorite color? How long have you known Damien?
Since I was in 7th grade, so that'd be 3 years out in pre-roll and 3 years in here, so I'd say 6 years.
How long have you known Jesse?
Since 6th grade. I know him, so 1 year longer, 7 years.
This is a good one here. Please list all incidents of unlawful activity with these people,
If any.
Rick.
if any.
In other words, had you been in trouble with either one of these guys in any capacity prior to your...
Besides the cooking Kool-Aid incident.
And you've actually told us your theories about who you think may have actually killed these people. So you don't need to reiterate that one.
Unless you want to.
Yeah, just roughly. And again, this is not to make you look like you're accusing anyone. This is just your opinion, as we all have one, of what we think happened.
Did you ever talk to that one guy that was like in that book, that was Mark Byers' friend?
Yeah, sure. Opie Taylor or whatever.
Yeah, that's who it
Yeah,
is.
sure did. I didn't talk to him like at length, but he's totally convinced that he was there for every day of the trial, heard all the testimony, and he's totally convinced they got the right people. But if you met this guy, he doesn't have sense enough to pour piss out of a boot. So I mean, this is not somebody that I would put a lot of credence into anything he said. Which is why we're kind of interested. We're under the assumption, I guess, that you guys probably theorize that it was Byers as well. But if not, do you think that there's a possibility it could have been some random serial killer kook? I mean, just what have you thought about?
Yeah, it might have been Byers and that one guy, or I don't know.
You can see that Byers probably had more of a reason to
Yeah,
have
'cause
done it
like,
than anyone else.
didn't he say in court when he was 18 or so, same thing that like happened to him when he was younger, except he wasn't killed?
I heard that.
Some said like he was raped and sodomized and hog-tied and thrown into a ditch when he was 18.
I did hear that. Maybe you told me that over the phone, but I have heard that before. Not in the movie, though.
No,
Not
it wasn't
in the book.
it was in court, I think.
There's
But it was off the
transcripts for
record.
that.
Yeah, we'd have to.
Oh, it was off the record?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
What's your opinion about these are sort of like catchphrases, but as far as it pertains to what happened here, do you think that small town mentality or poor man's justice figured into it?
Yeah. They was all dead set against us, and like we didn't like have the money. OJ had to like fight against it. Like really, they didn't really take nothing we said seriously anyway. Everything we said, they were like, oh, there's fine.
So you think they kind of came after you because you just couldn't afford to prove innocence, basically?
Yeah, really, they didn't have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And really, if they didn't go against the right people, they'd went after somebody wrong anyway. Talking to somebody else right here, probably right there anyway.
You think it's because the obvious reason that the town wanted the murder, or they wanted somebody,
Yeah, they
to
wanted
lock up for
somebody.
that? So I mean, you think it was just pretty
Well,
much.
he was gonna get somebody.
Have you heard, there was this article in the paper that James Sparks lists that were a radio personality, like Johnny Hollywood or something, is speaking out saying that he's the one who actually saw real killers and police have never paid attention to him. Have you heard about him?
No.
Yeah, supposedly that's some big new thing. We'll have to look into that.
Do you have faith in the present justice system?
Not really, but it's the best one that's around right now, so I had to learn it. But they have to have some kind of justice system because, like, I know from people in here, a lot of these guys deserve to be locked up, but and if they wasn't as aggressive as they was, they wouldn't get them. So they have to be aggressive on who they get, but they still get the wrong people mixed up.
Do you think the film has the film Paradise Lost has the potential to shed light on the case and therefore help it?
Yeah. So the media from before, like, was on. If I hadn't listened to my lawyer and I'd have talked that, we'd all, Damien did, like, talked out like before. We gave the media some other input. So, like, when they went out, they wouldn't only just had the prosecutor's side of the story, they had our side of the story. It'd been better, but since they only got the prosecutor's side of the story, before it was all bad. Those prosecutors actually will say bad stuff about you. So this, he comes out to both sides, so it brings out the good, the bad. So it's good.
Let me interrupt you just at this point. This is not on the interview thing, but as far as something you said in the movie, and I realize you were a kid and it was 3 years ago and all that, and you possibly regret saying it, but you had made a statement in the film when they said something, Paul Ford had said, do you see now how Damien, made, like, testifying, made himself, look guilty or something like that, and you had made a statement, yeah, I guess the way, it did kind of make him look like, like he could be guilty and all that. Do you still think that, after seeing the actual film, the way it was presented and all, do you still think he made himself look guilty in some of the
Not
things he
guilty,
said?
but bad. They twisted him around and stuff, and made his stuff look bad. It was like, one party was trying to say that if the killer did do it, that it was probably that killer's common sense that would
Right.
be fine, right? And then they try to make it look like it was his common sense.
Right.
Mhm.
It was fun.
But actually what he said was totally true. To the person that did it, they must have wanted to do it. That's what he
Yeah.
said, that nobody made him do it, or made them do it, whoever it was, which makes common sense. I appreciate that you were on the spot, when they said, would you still be friends with Damien and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of hard because you want to please your attorney and you don't want to betray your friendship with Damien and all that. So that really wasn't a fair question, but I
But
was
it
just
does
curious if you
confuse a
still-
lot of people.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
that
does.
seems to be when people see the movie, they kind of go, well, if Jason even thinks he did it,
Mm.
and some people get really confused with that because they think you think he did it.
You didn't say that.
No,
What
no,
I'm-
he didn't. But
what-
that's what people think. Like, oh, that's what he said.
My point is, like, don't you think that had he actually been guilty of doing something like that, you would have almost had to have known because you spent so much time with him?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But I know, I was with him part of that day. I was with him. He was waiting at my house when I got off the bus, and then went to my uncle's house, and he called his mom. His mom came and got him over there.
So you know for a fact there was no way he was in the woods after 5:30 or 6 that night and during the time that all that stuff was
So
going
I saw him again the next day. And I think he was at my house when my mom told me about it. I don't know. I really don't remember that. But,
It was a while ago.
I know my mom told me to watch after my brothers, make sure they don't go out playing off. Cause my brothers like play. We got some woods close to my house too. That all the kids go play and stuff in.
Next question is, what are the 3 greatest misconceptions about you that have been suggested by them?
Not me.
Okay.
Really ain't heard nothing about me too much in the meeting.
I think that's a good answer.
The fact that they think you're linked with a cult, though, for instance.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the only thing I've heard.
you pretty much discount that as a bunch of bull, right?
Yeah.
You think it was based on anything other than your association with Damien and your Metallica T-shirts?
They said I was friends with Damien. I was friends with Damien. I wore Metallica t-shirts. In fact, they had them at court. They all my Metallica t-shirts and stuff. Said I wore all black and all that. They didn't get none of my other clothes out of my closet.
So that was pretty
I
much
had
the
white-
extent of your satanic affiliation, was just a couple of shirts and the fact that you were friends with Damien?
Yeah. In fact, I really never wore all black anyway because I didn't have not a single pair of black pants.
I hate to see it if a real satanic cult moved into West Memphis.
Did you ever jokingly, before you were arrested, but after the murders, did you ever jokingly confess or joke about it?
I never joked about it. I remember one time, it was after the police was giving maybe a hard time about this stuff. We was at the skating ring, like, we was playing pool over there, and like, the skating ring goes, we're gonna give a quiet moment for the kids, you know. I was quiet, but David goes, "Nah, man, I ain't gonna be quiet because I'm all this trouble that the police is starting with me and all this stuff." I'm like, "Nah, man. It's not their fault the police are messing with you."
What's your opinion of Coroner?
Why? I don't know. I wouldn't recommend coming here for a visit and stay.
Is it worse than you thought it would be, or is it better than you thought it would be?
Actually, I thought it was gonna be like, you ever seen that movie Tango and Cash? Sylvester Stallone, remember when he was going through prison?
Mhm.
It was like all real tall and dark, and everybody's like throwing burning toilet paper and all this stuff, and they was all fighting and stuff. That's what I thought it was gonna be like. I was like, oh, man.
So it was then a little better than you figured it was going to be, huh?
Yeah, because when I was in county jail, we didn't have commissary. We didn't watch TV except one channel, Channel 7. We was in lockdown almost all the time. Then I came here. They had commissary, they had movie. I came here on a Friday, and they were sitting there playing movies all night and stuff. And everybody was just running around drinking soda and stuff. I was like, man, I'm almost free, ain't I? Wasn't no police escort with me everywhere I went.
What do you think you'd do if you were released immediately, like if you left today?
Well, I wouldn't be able to get away from my mom, I know that.
And you mentioned like maybe a music store or something.
Yeah, maybe like thinking about opening up something where I can help keep my brother out of trouble too, like getting him working there. Open like a store that sells like music tapes and skateboard stuff, you know. Maybe have like a little arcade or something in it, you know. Something not really. I don't really want to get rich. I don't care about being rich, but you know, just something to make money and just lay low, you know.
Keep your brother out of trouble.
Yeah.
You can write your book and get rich.
Yeah. You let your brother run the business and you write your book.
My mom said, I want to help run it too.
Yeah.
I said, no,